Today, so our slide. So as we already have introduced ourselves, today we are going to which is we have research is for about phishing via MailSploit. But firstly, we're going to talk about phishing first. What next? Phishing. What is phishing? Phishing is the ability to spoof emails and websites that lure victims involuntarily handing over their sensitive data, which attackers impersonate themselves as a trusted organization. In simple words, that an attacker impersonate themselves as it looks like we are legitimate from a legitimate organization, and we they have to hand over their personal details easily. So how does it works? Firstly, the attacker sends email reporting the victim that there is a problem with its bank account. Um, then the email directs the victim by clicking on this link to a fake bank website, where the bank website has been created by the attacker itself, which is not legitimate. Next. So when the victim clicks on the link and enters the website needs its info, its personal info. So when the victim enters its personal info, he or she is actually exposing it to the attacker. We will demonstrate the demo later so that people can understand how does it expose to the attacker. So
Okay.
next, um, basically we're talking about phishing, but our main discussion is about MailSploit. MailSploit, in my opinion, is like an advanced technique in phishing attack. So how does it work? But we have to know what is MailSploit actually, right? So MailSploit is a collection of bugs in email clients that allows effective sender spoofing and bypass DMARC. These are the key terms, which is mean allow effective sender spoofing and bypass DMARC. But what is DMARC? So DMARC stands for Domain-Based Message Authentication, Reporting, and Conference. This is to protect domain from email spoofers. Next. Um, it detects forged sender emails. It detects fake emails in simple terms, fake email during delivery. So DMARC is like an email authentication protocol. So in DMARC, we have like two authentication mechanisms that help with the DMARC, which is SPF and DKIM. SPF stands for Sender Policy Framework, which allows senders define IP addresses that are allowed to send email. This helps to verify who can send email on behalf of their domain, which means they look at the message header. We look at the message header and it specifies which IP address are authorized to send an email on their behalf. DKIM provides encryption and digital signature that verifies that email was not altered. So it means that it has a private key actually. Every organization has. So if this private key matches the public key, which is recorded in the NS record, if it matches, it was delivered. If it does not meet all these policy remarks, it drops. So how does MailSploit work? In email headers, it must only contain SCI characters. So including the from header. So every email header they have to contain SCI character. But if but most fake messages they don't contain SCI characters. So that's how DMARC is quite strong about it. So but MailSploit has defeated DMARC, this technique. So to bypass DMARC, MailSploit uses to encode non-SCI characters to SCI characters. So that's how MailSploit works. That's how MailSploit can pass through DMARC. Does not use suspicious for the DMARC to lah. And basically, that's all for my phishing and MailSploit definition. I will pass to Muhammad Arham for future features and advantages.
My name is Muhammad Arham. I'll mention about the features and advantages of MailSploit. Okay, next slide. Okay, first, uh, just explained by Nadia. Exploit can bypass the mark indirectly. It can be blocked by MTA and it also can be detected by email client. Next. Okay. First, what's unique about MailSploit is that it allows hackers to spoof addresses in the sender field. Yep. One to be presented to the end user, trusted sender, possibly another internal user, and another to show to the email server and the email security layers to pass all security checks in SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. This creates a very dangerous, elusive way to conduct a phishing attack. So I will not be explaining about DKIM, DMARC, and SPF because that's been explained by Nadia. So next. Okay. Email headers most importantly the from field, they are only supposed to contain ASCII characters. However, recommendation RFC 1342 from 1992 allows one to encode non-ASCII characters into an email header without breaking the field. It is through taking advantage of this loophole that MailSploit rewrite these fields. So how MailSploit attack works for this advantages or features, it cannot be blocked by MTA because the hackers inject the code before the alias sign, because by for MTA it detect the injection before the alias sign as the name of the email, not a malicious code. So MTA cannot detect the code injection. Okay. Next, third one, it can also be detected by email client when converting the non-ASCII encoding from ASCII to non-ASCII. The from string translate into this code. So usually, most coding languages, null termination is used to mark the end of a string. What the client actually processes and presents the actual domain name. So I'll conclude that MailSploit is an advanced technique from normal email spoofing, because normal email spoofing need to go through many processes or social engineering activities. But for MailSploit, hackers only need to insert the malicious code to inject in the email domain. So that's all from me.
So itu apa yang MailSploit boleh buat dan email server tak boleh nak cannot cope with the attack lah.
Yes, sir.
Email server cannot detect, right? Okay, continue.
Basically, on the body content part, next slide. There are explanations about trends, technologies, and how to different practical and technical. So based on our topic, which is phishing via MailSploit, it is actually has been tracked from this attack itself. As shown on the slide, you can see it can cause or lead to phishing, ransomware, identity theft, and web application attacks. In fact, all of these are related to each other, whereby the MailSploit itself is one of the phishing attacks. Among the biggest threats from MailSploit is it can spoof into two email address. One address is as trusted sender. For example, it possibly come from internal party or admin. The other address is for undergo a validation process in the SPF, DKIM, or DMARC. After it successfully passed the security check on the header field from that vulnerability, it also can allow an attacker to send some malicious link through the email and can lead to the other attack like identity theft, and web application attacks. It happens even worse when the victim has been phished and deceived by clicking the link provided and caused to the leakage of important data. Other than that, phishing is also the number one delivery vehicle for ransomware to avoid ransomware. To avoid detection from email security filters, hackers will place phishing links in attachments rather than the body of the email. From the fake attachments, when the victim clicks to open the attachment, the ransomware download begins automatically via a macro function. Next, um, to launch this attack, it can be done by using social engineering toolkit that comes with Kali. Kali Linux is a virtual machine and has over 600 tools, which are geared towards various information security tasks such as penetration testing and vulnerability research. The reason why we use Kali Linux is because it is free as it can get. It also supports multitasking and multi-user operation. Linux is widely used for uh, mainframe computers and servers. Also can run on personal computers, mobile device, and others. Moreover, it follows an open source model and all the code is available on Git. So it shows that it is easy to use. The second technologies that we use is SMTP2Go. SMTP2Go is a service provider that used to send a large number of emails and can monitor the distribution of those emails. SMTP2Go also provides an external SMTP relay service at a competitive rate and integrates with most mail service provider. Besides, it also has clear real-time reports at the dashboard. The reports will show either our email has been delivered, bounced, spam, or unsubscribed. Next, on this part, um, basically the objective of MailSploit is remains the same. Year by year, the top goals for spoofing are evolving and techniques for bypass email filter are more advanced than before. Uh, Based on the top phishing latest trends on 2020, as you already know, the whole world has been shaken by the emergence of COVID-19 virus. So the first trend is during this COVID-19 pandemic, it will build a long-term opportunity to the hackers. In March 2020, there are the first report of COVID-19 phishing emails. This is first COVID-19 emails target the worries and complexities of the virus. So, this picture shows the example of the COVID-19 phishing emails. As we can see, it required the victim to insert the phone number, email, and password. Next, next trend is the attacker are sent at the attacks at low volumes. Based on the chart here, as we can see on 2019, the attackers will attack at the highly target. It might be sent to hundreds of recipients and included with generic greetings such as the customer and simple hello. So with this mass phishing waves, it is easily to detect by most security check. On 2020, indicating that the attackers are getting smarter and being more careful in choosing their target. One thing that has changed is the attacks in 2020 were not as target as they were in 2019. For example, instead of sending one email to 50 employees within the same company, they will reduce the target so that they will not easily to get caught or detect. Next. How to defend. After we all go through the threats of attacks, strengths, and technologies, we need to know on how to defend from this attack. In order to defend, I would like to emphasize that email protection is not just a matter of downloading a security solution or a program and expecting it to instantly defend against any threat. So in this part, there are two ways that we can implement, which is by using practical and technical defense. On the practical part, usually the company or the organizations will spreading awareness among their employees. It is important to educate employees on how to avoid the attacks and importance of reading email message headed as well as identifying threat indicators in the message content, such as typographical errors or unusual links or an unusual link address. Other than that, the organization also need to practice on safe email habits by building a culture of security. For example, they need to allow our programs up to date and include the newest releases of software that protect against exploitable bugs and vulnerabilities. Next, they need to double check the email content and refraining from clicking links embedded in the message. Check who the email sender is and verify with the organization using other method like personal contact if the received message is legitimate. While on the technical part, one of the method that can use is by checking the details of email header using Outlook. It is mainly a webmail service that use Ajax programming techniques. Some of its features include message filters, spam filtering, scanning, and support for multiple address. That's all for my part. I will pass to the next presenter.
Okay, so for my part, I will explain how to install the software and use the tools. So actually, we have tried to make a phishing via MailSploit by referring to ethical hacking play GitHub, which is using MailSploit version 1.1, but it is not successful because of the Python code is not able to run with the latest Kali and need to make a troubleshoot to its code. So since the main purpose of MailSploit is for email spoofing, alternatively, we can achieve the same objective using social engineering toolkit, which is it already pre-installed in the Kali Linux, and SMTP2Go as a service to send an email to a victim. So we use VirtualBox as a open source to get a Kali Linux. So here are the steps how to install a VirtualBox and get a Kali Linux, and how to use social engineering toolkit. So first step, we need to install the VirtualBox in any browser and need to choose a Windows host. In this VirtualBox, we can run many virtual machines including Kali Linux. And step 2, after the installing of VirtualBox finish, we need to install Kali Linux ISO file. Then in this part, we need to choose Kali Linux 64-bit installer. Then we need to open the VirtualBox and click New to create virtual machine and fill the detail like show on the photo. For the version, we use Debian 64-bit as it is nearest to Kali version. Next, in advanced setting, we need to change the share keyboard and drag and drop to bidirectional because this will enable us to drag a file from Windows OS to Kali Linux. Then we need to go to storage and click on empty. On this part, we can see the CD icon. Then we need to click on it to choose a disk file. After that, choose the location of Kali Linux ISO file that we has installed to open in a VirtualBox. Then we are ready to start the installation of Kali Linux. In this part, just click on the default setting to continue the installation. After installing the Kali Linux, we are ready to use social engineering toolkit to launch a phishing which has been pre-installed in Kali Linux. From the menu, we need to choose one to open up method attack offset iterator, which is we are using website iterator and mass mailer attack to launch a phishing. So I will pass to Faiz to proceed the demo.
Yes, Faiz mana? Ada tak?
Hello?
Ya, ya, ya.
Lupa buka mic. Okay. So on guideline and demo, so I will present on how to demo, on how to attack using MailSploit. But actually we're using engineering toolkit because MailSploit already not been updated for 3 years, so it have problem with Python. So here is a demo. Alright, so our first step, we need to choose option number 1, social engineering toolkit. And then we need to choose option number 2 for website attack. So why we choose website attack? Because we want to do phishing first. We try to clone a legitimate website. So here is the step on how to do the attack. So at this part, we need to copy our machine IP address, and then here I will copy the URL of the legitimate website. So here I using student portal, and I will paste here for clone the website, and then okay. After that, I will copy the IP address and paste it in the web browser. So here is the website that I already cloned. So I try to sign in using the student ID and password. So in the clone website, when we sign in or our victim sign in, the page will keep refresh. Every time they sign in, it will refresh. So here is the login and password. So after we already done with website clone and it already success. So we will copy the IP address and we using bit.ly to shorten the URL. So the URL will look more trusted and it will consider as legitimate party. So here we will copy the URL from bit.ly. Why we copy? Because that URL we will using it in a mail attack or mail spoofing. So here's the step on how to do the mail attack. We choose option number 1, which is email attack single email address, because this is only for demo. So I only will demo on a single attack. So after you already done, insert your victim emails, and then you need to choose your own server or open relay. So if you all can see, that is from address example moreexample.com. So that is the email that we're going to spoof. We're using update@uitm.edu.my. So here is the SMTP2Go. SMTP2Go is working as a service to or be the secondary email that will manipulate the demarc or dekim. So here is the username for the Open Relay or SMTP2Go. ISIS using uitm.edu.my. And then we need to enter the SMTP email server. It's already given here, mail.smtp2go.com. Okay, next we need to enter the port number. The port number also already given here, SMTP port 2525. That is the port number of the SMTP2Go. So flag this message as high priority. I will put yes. That's is the setting for us, only for the hacker. So the next for the email subject, I will put it's a normal email subject. Like when we want to compose an email to anyone, we will put email subject. So here I put update your password. And then I send the message as plain because we going to send a link or URL. So if we send by HTML, it will not working. So in this part, I will insert the body message. So this is just to make it more legitimate, and my victim will feel like this is real, and he or she must update their password. If not, maybe their account will be suspended or anything. So this. And then in this part, I will paste the URL that already be shortened using bit.ly. Yeah. So from an from a IP address, then I change it to be a legitimate URL. Then lastly, I will put admin.itm just to make it more trusted. And then when the system already show set has finished sending email, that means our victim already received the email. So like here, admin uitm. So our victim did not know from who actually the email come from. Alright, so when our victim enter or click the URL, this is the website that we already cloned. And then our victim will sign in. So like I told before, when they sign in, the page will keep refresh. So here I'm going to check does it works well. So as we can see here, this is the login ID and password. So that's all from me. Thank you. Hello? Tak dengar ke? Serious?
Sir?
Oh, okay. Ingatkan. Sekejap. Okay. Borang dah bagi.
Dah sir dekat dalam group.
Faiz buka slide.
Slide.
Sir,
Yang mana satu? Slide ini ya.